What is up, Packers fans, and welcome back to the Daily Draft, brought to you by Brewski Light Lager from Badger State Brewing, the greatest can in all Wisconsin. Badger State Brewing, just minutes away from beautiful Lambeau Field, which is where they will host the 2025 NFL Draft. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite prospects in this NFL Draft, and I'm going to use the pronunciation that I found right here on the internet. That is Donovan Ezeiruaku. Ezeiruaku. That's what we're going with, is Ezeiruaku per Boston College. Dang it. So if I got it wrong, then their pronunciation guide is trash. Pass rusher, Boston College, played for Jeff Hafley. And we're going to get into the pros right now. Pros. Gets Clay Matthews comps. Anytime you're being compared to Clay Matthews by people who at least somewhat understand football, that is a good thing. Talking about motor, talking about productivity, but he's really, in my opinion, you go back and look at how productive Clay Matthews was at USC from a passer standpoint. Really, is Ezeiruaku is, or Ezeiruaku, God dang it. Ezeiruaku. We're going to get this right. Ezeiruaku is being compared to pro Clay Matthews, in my opinion. College Clay Matthews didn't have that many sacks, didn't have that many pressures, wasn't really asked to do that as often, was really a projection to the 3-4 and a brilliant one by Ted Thompson. Okay, productive for the last 3 seasons. Crazy productive last season with 60 quarterback pressures and 14 sacks. If you're looking at his regular old box score, you might be wrong on that. I don't know, but PFF doesn't do half sacks. Pro Football Focus counts sacks the way that I would count sacks, which is that every sack is a sack. And just because someone else got there at the same time, you don't give a player half a sack. So 14 sacks for Donovan Ezeiruaku. Extremely low missed tackle rate, especially for an edge defender who always doesn't have a great angle on his target. You see defensive ends with a lot of missed tackles because they're, whiffing on a quarterback after a great rush, a great way of beating a tackle. They're getting out angled by a speedy running back on a toss or on an outside zone. Like you don't get the straight ahead run that a linebacker, an off ball linebacker, a strong safety gets at a runner. You're often doing it at an angle. And so to have an extremely low missed tackle rate, which Donovan does, is super impressive to me. 7 forced fumbles in college. He is ball productive. He is a playmaker, and that is something that we love from our pass rushers, is the ability, to separate the quarterback and the ball carrier away from the football. That is big time. The bag is deep. Okay, you would think, because we'll talk about his size, you would think with his size, he would just be an edge bender. He would just be, a Chop Robinson trying to burn the edge, trying to bend, trying to turn the corner. It's not. He's an artist. His pass rush game is beautiful. He's got the cross chop. He's got the swim. He's got the arm over. His deep into his bag. I really like his technical proficiency as a pass rusher. Physical football player. I think that's another place where the Clay Matthews comps come from, is the physicality and the violence with which he plays football. High motor, high effort guy. Again, still Matthews. I should note he is a high level edge bender. I just talked about like how that's not the only way he wins. He can turn the corner. He's got the hip flexion. He's got the ankle stability and the ankle flexibility to be able to kind of, run when you're low to the ground like that. Not everybody can do that without falling down and getting stood on by a pass protector. He can bend the edge, and I enjoy it. He's got that sub 7.3 cone that lends to that athletic ability that kind of confirms what you see on tape, and no serious injury history, which we always love for prospects. Packers fans, this is Packer Report, and the countdown to the 2025 NFL Draft is on. There is no better place to celebrate this April than Badger State Brewing, just a short Lambeau leap away from the draft action. Cons. No way to get around that size. There's just no way. 6'2.5", 248 doesn't work for a lot of teams. Probably won't work for the Packers. And at least he has the 34-inch arms. But even Clay, who was an off-ball linebacker convert, was still like 6'3", 255. This is 6'2.5", 248. And they haven't drafted a Clay type in a really long time. So it really makes you not optimistic that the Packers would be into one more time. Ezeiruaku makes you not super optimistic. Might have to be a little bit more of a pass rush specialist at the next level, unless he moves off the ball on early downs. Otherwise, 248 is a problem on the run, especially if you are playing like a Baltimore or somebody that has one of these 320-pound offensive tackles. You're not going to be wanting to give up 70-plus pounds trying to defend the edge. And frankly, you're not going to be wanting to give up or be the same weight as tight ends trying to block you either. Defensive ends need to dominate tight ends, and I don't know that Ezeiruaku would. Doesn't convert speed to power, even against ACC tackles. There isn't enough sand in his pants for that. He's 248 pounds. He is not, getting a running start in shocking tackles. He's got to work with his hands and does a really good job, but the bull rush isn't going to be there in the pros. I don't think he's going to have to work half a man. He's going to have to turn the corner. He's going to have to spin inside. He's going to have to hit you with a pass rush move. The speed to power conversion is not going to be a part of his game, I don't think, at the NFL level. Just my opinion. Guys, buy the Green Bay Draft Guide powered by Packer Report. I'm there. Jacob Morley's there. Jacob Westendorf is there. You've got the tiers that really, really zero you in on who the Packers might draft. You don't believe me? Go read the last three guides. Look at how many tier 1 and tier 2 guys the Packers have actually put on their team, and look at how few of those guys they are. It's a really, really valuable tool. You'll have my Packers specific big board. You'll have a 7-round Packers mock, and it's all beautifully done in PDF form. You can put it there right on your tablet, right on your Kindle, right on your Google tab, whatever you're using. And it can just chill with you on the couch as you take in the 18 hours of draft coverage or whatever it is before you go rejoin your families. Buy the draft guide. In fact, use promo code DAILY for $1 off just because I love you. Packers fit. It's not great. They're going to have to break from what they've been doing and break what the GM has said about the position. He's even said that recently about not wanting to get small on the edge. Everyone does, though, point out the fact that Donovan played for Jeff Hafley at BC. They need the position, right? So I guess we're talking about that part of a Packers fit. They need the position. Goody, though, is worried that he'd have to play in base if someone got hurt. I think he's kind of explained that even recently as to what his thoughts are on the small edge situation. And he's like, yeah, pass rush specialists are cool. I think he was even also talking about like coverage linebackers. Pass rush specialists and coverage linebackers are cool, but what if your starter gets hurt and all of a sudden you've got a small edge playing on the edge? My opinion, I think it's maybe time to start taking some of those risks. But so far they have not. Can he go off the ball? That's the other question. Can they play him at Sam? And then can he reduce down? Is he good enough as an off-ball linebacker, which no one knows? I don't think it's really even on tape. Can he be good enough as an off-ball linebacker at 248 pounds to play there in base and then drop down? Because then he's not robbing your defensive end room, right? You just lost Eric Wilson to the Vikings. Maybe he takes Eric Wilson's spot as a linebacker, and then you kick LVN inside on passing downs and bring Donovan off the edge. I think that's a possibility. Will they be that creative? Will they change what they've done for the last, 8 drafts? That I think is to be seen for sure. Overall, solid second round grade on Donovan. If he was even 6'4", 255, he would have a first round grade for me. If he was inch and a half taller and 10 pounds heavier, he'd have a first round grade for me. The big question for me is, will the Packers even look? Is he even on their board? Because if he's on their board in a way that, we'll take him in round 4 if he drops because he's small, he ain't dropping that far. Someone else is going to take him. For me, he is my 47th player overall. We have crossed the 9-minute mark, which is no big deal. I love spending time with you guys. But that means we're going to get the short and sweet version of the goodbye. Drink Badger State. Buy the draft guide. Go Pack Go.